Ho, 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 ho. This is Blockchain Bernie with my latest episode, Christmas Ramblings. I've called that Bernie's Christmas Ramblings. So, this is going to be about many subjects. I look into what happened in Xandum, the scalable storage layer, recently with the DAO vote that we had for the um, for the for the DevNet. I'll look into the future outlook. I look into Solana, what happened in Solana in the past year, what's the future of Solana in the coming year and years. And I'll also talk about some personal things here. So, so that's my Christmas Eve edition. And I was doing this for probably 20 minutes or so already. And somehow I'm still not familiar with the new streaming software that I'm using that now streams in parallel to both YouTube and X. So if you're just used to my YouTube, go to X more often, watch my videos there. They are being live streamed at the same time as they are on YouTube. So yeah. All right. So it's Christmas Eve, guys. First of all, Merry Christmas, everyone. Take some time with your family. Switch off from the day-to-day hustle and bustle. Take some time out. Think about what happened in the year. Think about what Christmas actually means. It's the birthday of Jesus Christ. It's not some commercial event out there or some contest in decorating your houses or stuff like that. It's all great to do that, right? Not that I'm saying there's nothing wrong with that, but I think we all want to actually go back to what Christmas actually is, and be with our families and enjoy those days. So yeah, my Christmas rambling. So what just recently happened is we completed the first DAO proposal. DAO, Decentralized Autonomous Organization. So it's all the Xand token holders. And with Xandium, we're building that scalable storage layer. Our token is called Xand, Xand. So, and if you hold any Xand tokens, you're part of that organization, and you can self-organize and vote on proposals there. If you don't have Xand tokens yet, you can get them on Jupiter, jup.ag. It's the Jupiter aggregator, jup.ag, and just type XAND for the token that you want to buy and buy your Xand tokens there. And you can be part of the DAO then and vote with us next time. And the first DAO proposal went through. We are setting up our DevNet. Couldn't be more excited about that. And it was not like a unanimous decision. There were some people that thought the compensation is too little and things like that. So we had some healthy discussion out there. But in the end, the proposal passed. We're going to start that DevNet. Super excited about that. The other thing we still have on our roadmap for this year is what we call a green paper for developers. So that will be something that we can share with people that want to build storage-enabled apps so that they see what will be coming, right? It's not like a detailed documentation yet. They won't see all the APIs spec'd out, but they will see in that green paper what Xandium is all about and how it could help them build these apps. So that green paper will be out by the end of the year as well. So, yeah, what happened in Solana? I mean, as you all know, it was a fantastic year for Solana. And the Sol price, like 20x or something, or even more, 25x if you really take low point to high point, which is awesome, right? It's unheard of, and I'm really proud I saw that a year ago, and I recommended right on this channel here about a year ago to buy your soul for like $11 or something, where it was when I talked about it, right? It was even, briefly down to like $8 or something like that, but it was available for like 11 for a few weeks, I would say. So it was a great year for Solana, and they have built features into the Solana chain, right? Fee markets were introduced, right? In the year before, 2023, we had issues with congestion in the Solana chain, and the congestion was so bad that nobody could get their transactions through. Just because there was some NFT drop somewhere, the whole of the Solana chain was congested, and people couldn't do their transfers. People couldn't, exit their positions. They might have had something with lending or stuff like that, and they'll get margin calls or get liquidated if they can't close out their position, and they couldn't, right? So that was bad in 2023, and Solana and the team at Solana, the team around Anatoly, right, at Solana Labs and Anza, they were able to figure that out and develop it so quickly. And I've experienced all that because I'm also running a Solana validator, and having run all that software and things like that. And it is fantastic how well that worked. So suddenly there were priority fees, which were important to not have congestion all the time, right? When there's a high demand of transactions, people have to pay up in order to get their transactions through. But they didn't just do fee markets. They did localized fee markets, right? Something unheard of in cryptosphere anywhere else. That means it'll only affect the people that are around that thing that causes the congestion, like that NFT drop or like an airdrop or whatever is out there. And the others are completely unaffected and don't have to pay more for their transactions to get them through, right? So fantastic features in there. The whole thing has become more stable. It has become more performant, right? So, and the number of transactions that are being used on Solana, it has been skyrocketing, right? So I recently read many posts the last few days, right? That Solana has broken all the records in the number of transactions that are actually being processed, like payload transactions. I'm not talking about vote transactions for consensus here or something. I'm talking about the real transactions that are out there for users to execute, right? And we're consistently at like 1,200 or so of these each and every second. Can you believe it? And that's a lot of transactions, and that is actually more now than all other chains combined. Can you believe that? So that's like Ethereum, Avalanche, all the L2s, everything you've heard of, right? In EVM land, right? And all other chains, right? Like Aptos, Sui, all of them, Cardano, right? That one transaction per second that's coming from Cardano. Add that in also. So that means more than all other chains combined are being handled by the Solana chain. That is a huge demand for this solution that is out there called Solana. And that means that, in my personal view, Solana is going to outperform the market. Solana and, of course, the Xand token, XAND token, they are going to outperform the market here. And yeah, I mean, you can place your bets on Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever. My personal opinion is go with Solana and go with Xand, right? And both help each other, as I said in my previous video, right? Also, my prediction is that 2025 will be a good year in many respects. I think it can only go uphill. It can only go, how do you say, it can only become better for crypto. I think with the upcoming administration, I think there are so many hopeful signs with the economy, even though we might not make that soft landing, right? And there might even be a recession or a short recession coming. That might all be, but I think, in general, for the next few years, we're going to be on a great footing. And I think the best year ever that we're going to see is going to be 2026, right? Because some things need a little bit of time to develop, to figure out, for the dust to settle and things like that. And then we're going into 2026. And by the way, that's consistent with so many other years in the past few decades that ended in a six, and especially these years. So if you like, just ask your favorite AI tool about how things happened in the economy and in the stock market in 2016 and 2006 and 1996, 1986, 76, 66. We have a history there of those 6 years being great years, and I firmly believe it's going to be like that this decade as well, right? With all the uptrends that we've seen and the pullbacks that we've also recently seen, just make sure you don't put all your eggs in one basket, but don't diversify too much, right? If you have even like 8 different assets that you invest in, like let's say 4 cryptos and 4 stocks or something, can you really follow them all? I'm not sure, right? So and usually there is only very, very few assets that are really worth your money and your attention, and that really have the potential and a clear path for growth. And and I'm speaking of experience here, right? Sometimes I was like very concentrated in probably 3, 4 different assets. And I thought, like, man, I can't be that concentrated. So I ventured a little bit left and right to get a little bit diversified. Honestly, it never worked out in the past few years, right? I had my favorites, and it's just a few stocks, and it's on the stock side for me, it's Apple, Tesla, and Nvidia, right? Those are the 3 in the order in which I bought them, and I'm super happy with them, and don't want to part ways with them anytime soon. And on the crypto side, it's Solana and the Xand token, XAND, and that's what I believe in, right? And and you need the conviction. Obviously, you need to see really what's going on. Watch all the videos of if it's for Sol, watch the Anatoly videos, the all the other videos that are out there, and for stocks, for Nvidia, watch what Jensen is saying there, and he's out there in so many videos as well, and build yourself a conviction in a few things, because if you even have 8, right, and you cannot really follow them, right? What I did also is, like, with some of the more common names like Google or so, I do own a little bit of Google stock, I have to say, and that's one of the ones that's really going great. But I feel like if something happens to Google, I'm going to know it anyway. If there's a little bit of a smaller company, I'm not going to know it anyway. I'd have to follow them actively, right? So, and that's the good thing of these larger things like Apple, Tesla, Nvidia. They're in the news anyway. I'll read that anyway. So those are easier to track. Yeah. So, yeah, personal things. It was a good year, 2024 for me. a little bit of sadness here also, because naturally, with the year coming to an end, I'm looking at that same period last year where, unfortunately, there was a medical emergency with my mom. I flew to Germany, was there for a few weeks, and unfortunately, she didn't make it and passed away. And obviously, that comes back to memory now this year. So that is not so nice, but it's all part of life, and we'll need to live with it, so to say, right? So what else is there to ramble about? Obviously, all the excitement about the next steps with Xandium. I talked about the DevNet, starting with the validator nodes. I talked about the green paper that's coming out still this year. But then, there will be more about the DevNet. We will be doing those P nodes, extremely important part of that whole chain. And, the most exciting part is building that decentralized Wikipedia. I think that'll be a great part of our story. And my personal prediction is, with that decentralized Wikipedia, Xandipedia, it will be, once it's there, it will be something that people talk about. And having storage, scalable storage in smart contracts will be something that the crypto community will be talking about. And let's be clear about that. It is not like that right now. Nobody's talking about scalable storage for smart contracts. We've had storage, we've had Filecoin, we've had so many others, but none of them solves the blockchain storage trilemma. And solving the blockchain storage trilemma is what really helps, making these smart contracts platforms that we have out there, including Solana, scale and making them easy to build on and build new apps on. And Xandipedia will demo that. So people will suddenly see that and see, wow, we can build real apps just as we were able to in Web 2 and build them on Web 3. So we can suddenly use that decentralization. And that's the only reason blockchain exists, right? The only reason is decentralization of control. And we can have that decentralization of control suddenly for all those apps, right? And for starters, have you ever thought about how many of really successful Web 2 apps, how many of those have been ported to the blockchain, have been ported to Web 3? The answer is zero. The answer is absolutely zero, right? There is no blockchain-based X. There's no blockchain-based Airbnb. There's no blockchain-based eBay. There's no blockchain-based Facebook or anything, right? Or Instagram or whatever, right? It's just not out there, right? And that's because the storage layer is missing. All of these Web 2 apps have access to random access, scalable storage that's absolutely connected, easily accessible to the programmer to build apps. We're bringing that to the blockchain, and that's I'm super grateful for being able to work on what I love, right? And that not everybody has that, right? So, and yeah, that's what's up. That's what's out there for Xandium. Building the storage layer, building the decentralized Wikipedia. We will be at Solana Breakpoint again by the end of next year in Abu Dhabi. It will also be great. Looking pretty much forward to it. And with the future of the Solana chain, things like the Firedancer thing, it's being pushed. So the second validator client, not the Solana Labs, aka Anza one that's built in Rust, but there is that Firedancer thing that's built by Jump Crypto. and it's mostly written in C, and they have a hybrid version that they call Frankendancer. So it's like a Frankenstein of the old and the new world stitched together somehow. And Solana Foundation is pushing everyone to run Frankendancer on Solana testnet, right? So I might very well be doing that with my validator. And yeah, what else happened in in Solana this year? Liquid staking has been adopted. It has been tripling, quadrupling, I don't know, this year, or probably more. So many more stakers stake liquid now rather than directly. And if you have any SOL and want to get the best return on it, the best APY, and also participate in the Xandium ecosystem, stake your SOL with Xandium's liquid staking platform. So you can go to xandium.com and or xandium.network, go to xandium.network, and you can stake your SOL there with our liquid staking solution, and it's a storage-enabled liquid staking solution, right? So if you have any SOL, it is really a no-brainer because you get the highest liquid staking rewards on the Solana chain with our pool. Plus, you even get Xand tokens on top of that to participate in all the storage layer that Xandium is building. So yeah, that's really a great thing. And if you directly want to go stake stuff, go to xandsol.xandium.network. So Xandsol, that's XANDSOL.xandium.network, and there you can stake your SOL for the best APY. Yeah, so those are my Christmas ramblings here. Again, spend those days wisely. Switch off from the daily stress. Think about the roots of Christmas, and yeah, think about what you're grateful for, what the future could look like. There's a lot of positive stuff now in the pipelines that could work out well, and obviously nobody knows the future, and things can go the other way really quickly. But I believe, honestly believe, 2025 is going to be a great year, just in general, and for us, and for humanity, and for the economy. But also for Sol and for the Xand price. And 2026 is going to be the killer year, right? So stay in the game at least until 2026. Make sure you don't risk everything, right? Have your base. You can't buy everything on margin, right? Or buy stuff on borrowed money. Or even if the money is not borrowed, but you need it, or you could need it in an emergency every time, don't put it all into investments like crypto, right? You need to make sure that when disaster strikes, you're not wiped out. That's basically the point, and that's important to remember, and that's more important than making a few or even a lot more somewhere, right? You cannot risk what you have and what you need for some potential future gains. That's just the advice that I have for you. All right, so then I hope you enjoyed this little episode. I was talking before that already 20 minutes or so and it just wasn't streaming because we have that new streaming software. I hope it has streamed now. Everyone, Merry Christmas again. Happy New Year. Don't forget to give me that like button. Don't forget to comment and subscribe to my channel. And I still have a few episodes out there this year, so there will be the full formal, like, recap and all these things, while these ones were just a little bit of my personal ramblings here. I hope you all enjoy.